Welcome, everyone. I'm here with Henrietta, Brett, Zoya, Chrissy, Casey, Dr. Ankur, and Savannah. Today, we are going to quickly and briefly go over what are each of our top 2 life values in life and why. I will start. Number 1 for me is what generates presence in the short term and meaning over the long term with aligned relationships at the core. Number 2 is having an engaged mind and body with aligned relationships at the core. For me, I talk about like the carnival on an island. You can have mansion, yacht, house, Ferris wheel. I make it all up, right? Think of all the things in the world you can have. Carnival on an island. You're by yourself. Relationships matter to me. So relationships are at the core of both of my items. Presence is really important. There's a lot of ways of doing that, and the short term and long term matters to me. So that is my high level.
Yes, so my first one is health, and both physical and mental health. And it hasn't always been my primary, my top value, but I think it's very common that as we get older, young people usually take it for granted. And so it's a good thing not to take it for granted. It's also interesting that I have always been in the health related businesses, doing research and different businesses. So it's very reflected in what I'm doing. And the second one is freedom. And basically every aspect of freedom that can be imagined, including intellectual, professional, financial, basically just being able to do what interests me and also what to go beyond myself and give back to the world. And interestingly, I also experience lots of freedom, for example, with addiction. So that's one of the most extreme that one can get to. So it just cemented this determination of mine. With freedom.
Fantastic. Like Henrietta, my first one is freedom. So it's being able to live your life without limits, whether it's physical, mental, social, spiritual, financial. If you're a business, being able to pick and choose the clients that you work with, not being forced to be able to take in a paycheck. And the second is reciprocity. I'm a very big believer that what you put out in the world, you get back. And the way that the two are intertwined is, it's my opinion that if you put an intentioned, focused effort for a consistent period of time, regardless of the adversities that you can be able to achieve freedom, whatever that means to you.
Thanks, Brett. Mine are accountability and empathy. So one speaks to the doing, the other is feeling. One is around the self, the other is others. Accountability speaks for me as far as follow through, self-awareness, continual improvement. Empathy is the recognition of others' differences, individuality, uniqueness. It softens my view of the world, and spoiler alert, I struggle with one versus the other. Empathy, I struggle with.
My top 2 are integrity and connection, and they are very much intertwined like an infinity loop. So integrity through solitude and authenticity, and really taking the time to understand ourselves and understand myself, is how I can better show up in the world. I can be more authentic, more real, and also better serve others. Because it's important for me to understand who I was, who I am, and who I'm becoming. And that's how I can really show up. The second one is connection with others. And this is the sort of flip side. And this is an amazing space for me because I gain a deeper knowledge and it puts a completely different lens on the world for me. And I experience the world in many different ways through others' experiences, which then nurtures a lot of creativity, innovation, and also just empathy and collaboration.
Great. My 2 are discipline. Discipline is, I think, essential to anything that I ever do. In my 3rd year of undergrad, I read a book called Discipline Equals Freedom, taught you about how to enter uncomfortable situations, to do things that you don't necessarily like doing in the pursuit of becoming a better person overall, which extends from the right diet to exercise to studying to mindfulness. And that's something that I've carried through every single job or opportunity that I've ever been able to do. And then the other one is candor. I think you need to be radically transparent with people, honest, frank, whatever it needs to be sure that you're authentic when you're meeting with them. I deal with plenty of founders, other investors every single day, and without being upfront and open and honest with them, it's very hard to build good relationships over time.
Beautiful. I'll jump in here. You guys have touched on probably my top 2 anyway. So let me go a little different direction here. I'm gonna say one is communication. So much time I spent not wanting to speak in public or not wanting to tell your own story. Nobody else is gonna know your story the way you do. So I really value someone who's able to articulate what they want and who they are. And so I think everyone should work on that. Second, and probably most important, is urgency. My pops had a saying was tomorrow never comes. We kind of live in that space where I'll do it tomorrow, I'll figure it out, I'll do this and that. And then you wake up and you're 70 or 80 or you're not alive and you never got to do it. So I'll say those two things were most important to me.
Mine are, my first one is integrity, because I think having integrity in everything that you do, no matter what business, niche, industry that you're in, is incredibly important. And it helps within your businesses because you're authentic, you're trustable, and then you can be able to trust others easily as well. So that's one of my top ones. But my other one is also relationship, because like Jeremy said, like nothing is fun if you're alone. It's amazing to start businesses and to make money and do all of the things. But if you're alone, nothing really matters. And being able to share the amazing things that you're creating and doing with people that you love is the most important thing. So those are my two.
I love it. Thank you all for sharing.